How you going, guys? Welcome to Hammer Paints. This video I'm going to do how to paint SS. Basically what we're going to do is just paint up an SS soldier, this guy here. He's been undercoated in my black waterproof drawing ink. I've gone through it in the Fallschirmjäger video. It looks like a little bit of it's rubbed off, but it'll be fine for this tutorial. He's just a spare guy that I had left over. He has a standard Grenadier helmet, which is fine. I'm going to paint that in the Grenadier helmet with the SS on the side and the swastika on the other. Now, the colours you'll need for this are all within this German SS paint set. So the colours I'll be using will be from this. I only use veiw, so I'll be using gunmetal grey, beige brown, not Russian green, green grey, German grey, German field grey, ivory, flat red, medium flesh tone and flat flesh tone, snakebite leather, vermin brown, and HP's ink, or HP's one of the washes that I made up. I've got a video. If you're not sure what it is, I've got a small video that you can go and have a look and try to recreate or successfully recreate it yourself. I'll explain more of the colours as I use them and for what for as I'm going along. But the most important one, you will need this to do SS the way I do them. You will need this German SS paint set. I'm sure there's probably a colour code chart out there somewhere where you can get the colours for other paint companies that are similar to these colours that revert back. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, to start this, we're going to start with our German camo pale brown, which is from the SS paint set that I showed you. And basically, what we're going to do is I'll put a little bit on my palette just here. We're going to paint all his pants. Let's get this into the bloody camera. I'm going to paint all his pants, all his shirt, try and leave the straps, and try and leave some of the, as best you can, leave the accessories that's on him, and try not to paint too much of his boots as well. So we'll just start by painting his clothes in German camo pale brown. You don't have to be super neat, but the less you paint of his accessories, belts and buckles and clips and whatnot, the better the detail will be preserved. I mean, you can imagine the more you paint, the more layers he's gonna get. So and what I mean is, like, you can see some straps at the back just here. They're very fine. Yeah. So we paint his all his clothes, and down in here try and leave some of the entrenching tools, and there's like a little gun holster back there. We try not to paint too much of that. I mean, it's not a crime if you get paint on it, but as I was saying, the less paint you get on it, the more detail you're going to preserve. SS would have to be my favourite. Army in the Flames of War range. Probably not the most points sensible list to take. They are quite expensive, and it's more for the, if someone asked me, I would have to say it's more for the experienced player, as you have near no men on the table, and yet you still got to perform as if you've got just as much as your opponent, unless you're going up against SS. So something like that. Sorry for the light, guys, it's probably a little bit bright, but I'll be buggered if I can see without it. So if you can bear with it. I mean, just remember, there is no wash on it. Nothing's been highlighted or pointed out or segregated yet. So that's just his clothes. I'll stop the vid there. Just clean up a couple of bits and pieces where I can get in a bit closer without, otherwise I have to pull it off camera. And I'll go on to the next part. We're back. I've touched him up, and now we're going to paint the helmet in German field grey. Remember, these are just base coats, but now you got to start being a bit more careful. Let's get this on here. You got to start being a bit more careful now. This is when you don't want to start getting paint on what you've already painted, even though they are only base coats. The beauty of it is, if you do accidentally bump it, it's very easy to touch up. But as I was saying before, it's one of those things, the less paint on the figure, the more detail you preserve. Okay, so his helmet's done in German grey, German field grey. Now we're going to do his bread bag in grey-green. Green-grey. Got to be very careful because there's a grey-green and a green-grey. A grey-green is just a little bit darker than German field grey, and this is just a little bit lighter than German field grey. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the bread bag in green-grey. Now we're going to do the knapsack, and I've just realised there's a colour I've forgotten to mention. Which is German camo beige. I'll be right back, I've got to grab it. Sorry about that, guys. Another colour you're going to need is German camo beige, one of my favourite colours. And we're going to do his little sleeping sack up here, his little, whatever you like to call it, his swag. Not that one. My bad. This one. Now we also want to look for his little gun holsters, so we also do that in German camo beige. So just in there behind his entrenching tool. Just like that. Now We want beige brown. We're going to do his little drink canister or his canteen, and beige brown. His little canteen done. Now we want to do his little backpack up the top here. I do it in beige brown. I don't honestly know the correct colour for it. I just find it gives off good contrasts, the beige brown, with these other colours I'm using. Now his entrenching tool, if you have a look, his shovel, his little entrenching tool, it's within a little like a little holster. We'll also do the leather parts, or the part that's holstering the entrenching tool, in beige brown as well. Remembering that that down there is a strap, and down below that is the handle. Now his gas cylinder, or his gas canister, sorry, we want to do that in German grey. And this is probably the easiest part, is the undercoating, or just getting your base colours down before we start throwing some layers on. And that is it. That's him there. We have his base coat of his camo pale brown, which is his clothes from the SS pack, his bread bag, which is done in green grey, his water canister, his backpack, and his entrenching tool holder is done in beige brown. His gun holster for his Luger is done in beige, German camo beige, along with his swag, and his gas canister container is done in, for his gas mask, is done in German grey. And one more thing, I like to use vermin brown for timber parts, and what we're going to do is we're just going to paint the handle of his entrenching tool in vermin brown. I find this gives a really, especially with the wash over the top, it gives a convincing timber look. And it's not too bright, but it's bright enough to be picked up on the battlefield, looking down on top of him. And that's him. When we come back, we're going to wash him.